My name is Afton Halloran, and I'm working with the Food Planet Prize. I'm also the author of this piece on land use and agriculture. We all have a connection to the land, even those of us who live in concrete jungles, far away from the countryside. Think about the Earth for a second. About 70% of the Earth's surface is water. Land covers the other 30%. Crop and livestock production uses 1/3 of this land. And that's more than the total area of Europe, North America, and South America combined. In the last 40 years alone, the amount of land dedicated to agriculture has increased by 10%. An area that, if you combined it all together, would equal a landmass greater than South Africa. This remarkable transformation is the result of rapid economic and population growth. While this has meant that more food can be grown for more people, there are severe consequences. When more land is needed for agricultural activities, land is converted from one purpose to another. For example, the conversion of forested land into pasture for livestock. The classic example is the destruction of sections of the Amazon rainforest to create areas where beef cattle can graze. Land degradation is another concern. This can happen in a number of ways. In some cases, farmers do not have sufficient access to land, and this forces them to overgraze on the grassland or to continuously plant the same crops on the same soil from year to year. And this can lead to a depletion of nutrients in the soil. When the soil is depleted, the amount of food that can be produced on a piece of land declines. And climate change is not helping in all of this. Drought and intense periods of rainfall can wreak havoc on the soil. And there's also the human dimension too, the dimension that we can't forget. Land degradation is estimated to force 50 to 700 million people to migrate in the future. First, let's look at our diets. Diets that are rich in plants and low in animal products not only are better for the climate, but require fewer land resources. One of the reasons for this is that it takes a lot of land to grow the feed that we feed to the animals that we eat. So there are some new alternatives in terms of how we can make this shift. There's a lot of innovation that's happening in developing products that are alternatives to meat and dairy. The second thing is to reduce food waste and losses. So food is lost and wasted not only in the farmers' fields, but along the whole value chain. So reducing our household food waste is another place to start. Just think about this. When we waste food, we are literally throwing away land resources. There's also new ways of farming, like creating ecosystems that support wildlife and agriculture at the same time, or strictly designating critical habitats that are off limits to agriculture production. There's also suggestions that we could stop farming on land altogether. And there's a long list of examples here, but these range from growing crops in indoor vertical farms to developing meat products that are grown from the cell cultures of a cow's muscle tissue. Some of these might seem far off in the distance, while other solutions are actually feasible today.